Let's talk about these good and bad iPhone 15 Pro leaks. What's up? I'm Royce, and this is Apple Next, where I talk about all the latest and hottest Apple news of the week. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into it. First up, let's just jump straight into some bad news. Now, I guess kind of the good thing about this bad news is this isn't the first time we've heard about this, and that's the price increase that we can expect to come with these new iPhone 15 models. Now, what we've heard so far is that we could expect to see a $100 to $200 price increase with the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. But after that, it's kind of just been left there. But now we got a little bit more detail on that, with the iPhone 15 Pro most likely being the one to get that $100 increase, and then the 15 Pro Max looking to get that $200 increase. Now, they're saying the Pro Max could still be between that $100 to $200 range, but I'm just gonna kind of jump straight to the $200 range and just kind of expect the worst, especially when we're kind of looking at how the Pro Max is expected to separate itself from the smaller 15 Pro with that new periscope lens that will allow you to zoom in up to 5 to 6 times without any blurriness. And we've already heard that getting that new periscope lens in that Pro Max is costing Apple a little bit more. So yeah, that's why for me, I'm just thinking, okay, this is probably gonna be $200 more. If they surprise us and both the Pro and Pro Max only get like a $100 price increase, that's still gonna suck, but I guess I'll feel a little bit more relieved. Now, some of the good mixed in that is it's looking like the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Plus won't actually see a price increase, and they'll stay at the current price points right now, with the iPhone 14 starting at $799 and the iPhone 14 Plus starting at $899. And now if we look at the price increase for the Pro models, the 15 Pro is gonna come in at $1,099 and the Pro Max at $1,299. Again, could be $1,199, but I'm gonna say $1,299. Now, I feel like Apple's kind of treading in some dangerous waters here, obviously because of the price increase, but also because what we've heard so far with the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, those are actually going to be seeing a pretty significant upgrade from what we've seen in the past with the regular models, to the point where we can expect the 15s and the 15 Pros to actually look very similar in design. Yes, the Pros will probably come with that new titanium body, where the regular 15s will stay with the aluminum. And as I mentioned, the Pro Max is gonna have that periscope lens, although the smaller 15 Pro won't have that too. So then you kind of have that disparity of, okay, what's gonna be justified to get that regular smaller Pro versus the Pro Max. And with the 15 and 15 Plus, we can expect them to get that new dynamic island, probably a little bit thinner bezels than what we have on the 14 and 14 Plus. They're all gonna come with USB-C. They're all gonna get that 48 megapixel camera that's currently just on the 14 Pro models. So Apple could potentially be looking at a situation where more people are gonna think twice on whether it's actually worth upgrading to these Pro models versus getting the 15 and 15 Plus, because I think for the first time in a while, there's gonna be a lot of unison with all the models, which I think is actually a good thing. But now seeing these numbers in your face, let me know where your guys' heads are at, and if you would just kind of be cool with the 15, or you still want to hold out to the 15 Pro. But as always, we're gonna have to wait and see how this all plays out. But thanks to all these leaks that are coming out, we don't have to wait as long to at least get an idea of what to expect when these phones come out in the fall. And right now specifically, we got some more design leaks that give us a better and clearer idea of what we can expect with these iPhone 15 models. And after checking this out, see if it justifies that $100 to $200 bump on the 15 Pro models, especially the Pro Max. And from these leaked images, we can see the front panels here. What we can see is that they all look pretty similar across the board. We can expect to see thinner bezels also across the board from all these phones, and kind of like a more rounded edge design. And what may happen is the 15s will probably look similar to the 14 Pros right now, and then the 15 Pros might even have a even thinner bezel than what we've seen in the past. And if we look on the side of the phone, we do see that there is an action button, which is really exciting to see, but we do have the regular volume rockers, which is a little bit different than a story I did in a previous video where this one iPhone 15 Pro case leaked that may have hinted that we could see some like haptic buttons on the side of the phones, which are more pressure sensitive versus actually just pushing in a button. But it's looking like they're probably just gonna stick with the regular volume rockers, which is not too surprising. The tech behind the haptic buttons, that would have been really cool to see, but it makes sense that this is something they'll probably hold for maybe the 16 or even iPhone 17 later down the road. But yeah, other than that, these leaks kind of back up what we've been talking about thus far. And yes, it's not like some crazy leak with this like crazy hidden feature or anything, but this is actually really good to see, because that means as we get closer to the actual iPhone 15 release, leaks are gonna start to get less crazy because Apple's already well on the way to producing these phones and getting them out there. So So I'm sure all these leakers and companies, they have a way better understanding of what these phones will actually look like. And I don't know why, but I just really think it would be really cool if the dynamic island does come to the iPhone 15, especially because this is a premium pro feature right now, and then to immediately be available to everybody the following year, that says a lot. And also, when you think about just the evolution of the iPhone notch since the iPhone 10, this one website actually does a really good job of actually showing the progression of the notch, right? And it's actually really cool to see this because, yes, I know that it has gotten smaller and thinner, and then now with the dynamic island, but to actually see them stacked next to each other, you actually could see that Apple has been improving on this design and this technology with Face ID and everything since the beginning. And unfortunately, I gotta throw some more bad news into the mix because it looks like the iPhone 15, at least the Pro models, may actually be delayed until October. Yeah, I know, that's a bummer, especially when you stack up that these Pro models are gonna be more expensive. And when we look at all the features, we'll see what the periscope lens is like, but there's still like no knockout feature that we've heard so far. And on top of that, now you're saying that if we do wanna get these phones anyway, they're gonna be pushed back another month? Yeah, Apple is just making it really hard this year to really consider those Pro models, which is why I always go back to the 15 where I'm like, I really wanna see what they do because the 15s, the regular ones, this might be their year to shine, honestly. But it is speculated that this delay is because Apple's trying to put on this super thin bezel on the 15 Pro and Pro Max. And if that's the case, that's good to hear, right? Because that means we're getting closer and closer to that all full bezel-less display that we all really want. It just sucks that this may have to come at the cost of a slight delay. Now, it is believed that another option to this could be that the Pro models still come out the same time as the 15 and the 15 Plus, but they would be available at very limited supply, which for me, I'm like, just delay it then, you know, because nothing bugs me more than when a company, not just Apple, any company releases something and they're like, oh, by the way, we only made 10. Good luck. It's like, no, just wait until they're all available so we can just all get them. And you could say like, well, if they do this, it could hike up demand, get everyone really excited. But I feel like at this point, yeah, I think it was fun all those years ago, waiting in line for iPhones. But now that like everything's mainly just done online, it's just like, bro, just finish it, man. Finish it and then release it when it's done. So unfortunately, both of those I feel like are kind of sucky options. I mean, obviously, if it does come out at the same time, it's awesome if you're one of the people that so happens to get it, right? Then you can actually feel pretty cool. Like, oh yeah, I'm the only one that's got this. Yeah, everyone else got to wait 3 weeks. Which also, like that's not that long. Like, I'm being dramatic, right? It's really not that long of a wait. And I hate to keep going back to this point, but if this is the case, 15 Plus, they're looking really nice. Those phones are looking really nice this year. And don't let them surprise me with a 15 mini with all this as well. Don't, oh, it's game over, bro. Forget the Pros. Mini for life, the mini society. I see you. And now for this last part, let me bring it back to some good stuff because Apple just released an update to their iOS 17 beta software. I believe it's beta 4 right now. And within that beta, people have been swimming around in the code, finding different things, different features. And what these code divers have found are hints of what could potentially be features for the action button on the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. Now, it doesn't say it specifically, but it kind of highly suggests that this is what it's for, which is actually really awesome and goes back to my point that I made that now that these rumors, like everything's starting to come home, right? Like everything's getting more grounded and we're really kind of putting all the pieces together in this iPhone 15 rumor puzzle, and we're gonna end up knowing exactly what these phones are gonna be like before Apple tells us. And it looks like the code reveals 9 options that the action button will be able to use or utilize. And if you have the Apple Watch Ultra, this will probably sound very similar because I think it's going to work pretty much in the exact same way as the Apple Watch Ultra. I don't have an Apple Watch Ultra. Whoa, crazy. I actually went to go charge my regular Apple Watch. Completely forgot to put it on. I feel naked. This is weird. Didn't even realize I didn't have it on, which, does that tell you something? So I'll just run down these features real quick. So one being that the action button will give you access to accessibility shortcuts, and another turning on silent mode, which is how the mute switch toggle works right now, which is what it's replacing, so that makes sense. Another is to open the camera, quickly be able to take photos and videos, turn on and off the flashlight. I'm actually excited about that one. Activate certain focus modes, activate the magnifier app, open the translate app to quickly start conversations or translations, start and stop voice memo recordings, and last but not least, the Beast feature to activate custom shortcuts from the Shortcuts app. And I think that's where the action button is really going to shine specifically for the people who actually take time and utilize the Shortcuts app in creating custom shortcuts and functions that go way beyond what Apple allows you to do stock on the iPhone. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But if you are curious, if you just search Shortcuts app on your phone, you can quickly see some of the features that the Shortcuts app allows you to make. It has a lot of presets that are really cool, or you can really dive in there deep and create little custom functions. For example, right now, I have one that I can activate ChatGPT and pretty much have that overtake Siri just by saying, "Hey Siri, ChatGPT." And instead of using Siri, it'll open up the ChatGPT API, and then I can just talk to that and have it do all of my work for me. You can also set it up to do the same thing with Google Assistant. So yeah, I don't want to harp on that too much, but the Shortcuts app really kind of unlocks the action button to a whole bunch of different possibilities. And to be able to just quickly access that by just, double pressing or single pressing, however that action is going to work on the side of your phone, is really cool. Now, I have pointed out that you can do something similar with the tap back feature, which is this feature, if you turn it on, you can do different functions very similar to an action button by double tapping or triple tapping the back of your phone, but it's very spotty and doesn't work too well. And when you have it turned on, sometimes your phone can accidentally receive a double tap or a triple tap just when you put your phone down on a table or something. So you could see why having an actual dedicated button for that would work a lot better. So getting a clearer picture, that button alone may justify for me and for others a reason to pay that extra $100, maybe that $200 premium. And I highly doubt it, but if the 15 and 15 Plus also got the action button, then okay, like the conversation's over. Like just get a 15 or 15 Plus, because that's crazy. But yeah, I'm very sure that they'll reserve that for the Pro models and also things like the ProMotion display. So there'll still be enough to, separate the two. Even like the always on display, they're expecting that to still stay with the Pro models, which for me, I feel like is really annoying and kind of a cop out to show that they may not have enough features that they would like to separate the two, because that definitely should be on the regular 15 and 15 Plus by now, especially if they're gonna get that dynamic island, because I feel like, you're taking one feature from the 14 Pro, you might as well just give us everything from the 14 Pro for this next model. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this price increase justified? Are you cool with just settling with the 15 and 15 Plus from what we know now? Or are you still holding out for that 15 Pro, even if it costs a little bit more and we have to wait a little bit longer? Drop it in the comments, and thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.